Check, check. Check, check. All right. Well, we're already live on YouTube, but about 20 seconds we'll be live on Twitter. So I'll do my intro spiel in 15 seconds. What is up, everybody? Solomon here. Super excited to be with Genfinity, interviewing a multitude of builders across Web3. Well, we have the finale for the Hedera X AI hackathon. We had two gigantic demo days that we were grateful to be able to help host in May. I think it was May 20th and 21st. The winners have been announced. We've got a lot of them up here with us today. This is going to be a little bit of a different format than we did with those demo days. Really kind of just straightforward. We're going to be walking through the winner tracks and kind of just highlighting all the amazing innovation and hearing maybe about some of the roadmaps coming forward with a lot of these builders. But that being said, I'm going to turn over the intro to, I'm going to start with Ed, and then Ed from Hashgraph, and then we'll move over to Michael, and then we'll get the ball rolling here. But Ed, yeah, I would love if you could give us an intro of all the initiatives and what we're looking forward to seeing today.
Amazing. Thank you, Solomon. Very happy to be here. Hey, Michael. Hey, everyone. And my name is Ed Marquez. I lead developer relations for Hedera at Hashgraph. And so today is just a celebration of those that put in the work to create these incredible submissions that led to them winning place prizes for this hackathon. If you remember, this was a 3-week hackathon that encouraged innovation with AI on Hedera. Can't stress that enough. AI on Hedera, because Hedera is a fantastic chain for building your AI-enabled applications. We have very simple and easy to use SDKs, and even improved tooling that has been developed by ecosystem contributors very recently. And so, in relation to the hackathon, we are going to see what the projects built in the tracks of MCP, ELIZA, and Hedera Agent Kit as well. So, definitely looking forward to hearing directly from the winners. But before we go to the winners, I also want to pass it over to Michael, because this was an excellent collaboration across the Hedera ecosystem with organizations like the Hedera Foundation, Hashgraph Online, and Hashgraph to make this a reality. So, Michael, over to you.
Thanks, Ed. First off, I want to say huge thank you to Solomon from Genfinity for hosting this stream. He's been an amazing partner with these events, including Hedera X AI. And as Ed mentioned, Hedera X AI wouldn't have been possible without the help and support of Hashgraph, the Hedera Foundation, as well as a number of other partners within the Hashgraph Online DAO. It's been an incredible success at Hedera X AI. We saw over 500,000 total views across all of the accounts and all of the streams. It's probably one of the biggest virtual events that we've done on Hedera. We had participation from XCC Foundation, Constellation, ELIZA OS, and Algorand, as well as 4 VCs from Helix, HiveMind, spacing and on the other names right now. But it was an incredible event with lots of participation from all across the board. And today we are seeing the accumulation of that event, where if you recall at Hedera X AI, part of the goal and role of that event was determining the last 15% score for our participants on who would win the hackathon. And today we have these 6 winning teams who presented and had everything ready during Hedera X AI and executed flawlessly. And they joined us, and I'm so happy to have them here with us again and to see what they're working on next.
Awesome. Well, I think we're going to kind of roll into it. So, I mean, I think to kind of recap a little bit here, and you can go, for anybody that's watching and interested in kind of learning a little bit more about the entire initiative, hashgraphodline.com, check out the blog. Over several high energy weeks, the Hedera X AI hackathon turned curiosity into working code. Thanks to partners at Hashgraph and the Hedera Foundation, the hackathon and its companion demo day drew 300 plus registrants, 500K total live streams, as Michael mentioned, 300 plus hacker signups. So without kind of as Patch is sitting up here on the stage, probably like Solomon, just gets to the point. Without me rambling, congratulations to the winners. We're going to kind of run through each winner here. So the first track here to highlight is the Agent Kit / MCP track. First place was Franky and Franky Agents. Franky, we have you up here with us today as well. You can unmute your mic, and would love to just learn a little bit about what your experience was like with the hackathon. Give us an overview of what you built. If you have anything that you want us to share, happy to do that, and we'll go through roadmap too. But first question is, what was the experience of the hackathon and building on Hedera?
Hey Solomon, it's nice to be here, addressing everyone here in this audience. And yeah, we've been building Franky for the past 3 months, technically, and we've been making a lot of progress since the hackathon. So we have our initial alpha version out, and we have a close group of testers with whom we are iterating the project. And to be frank, the hackathon was like a Kickstarter for our project, and we found it really helpful. Everyone has been really encouraging and supportive from the Hedera ecosystem. And yeah, we'd love to take this forward. And I can show you a few stuff that I've been working on and about my project. Can I share my screen?
Yeah, please. You should have a present button down in your StreamYard,
sure.
And I'll bring it up.
Yep.
I see it.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. So this is our landing page, and if you haven't followed Franky on Twitter, please do follow. So we are at Franky Agents on X. So here we post about all our updates and what we do and all the new features that we launch. And we also want to launch our product on beta on testnet soon. So we are still working on that. And before that, I'd like to show a bit about um, what we've done so far. And also, if someone who don't know about Franky yet, I could touch base on what Franky is all about. So Franky is a solution where you can monetize your mobile devices by powering efficient AI nodes. And we are building the entire ecosystem in our product on Hedera. So to understand our problem, we have 5.3 billion phones discarded every year and 17 million tons of e-waste. And there is a huge market where we could capitalize on, where decentralized hosting market is expected to be around $60 billion by 2030. And this would make low and mid-range AI infra expensive, and we are trying to make it affordable for all users. In using Franky, anyone can convert their mobile device into an AI agent hosting node. We provide extremely cheap hosting services compared to our competitors. There are two types of users for us. One is regular users who don't know anything about Web3 or technically anything. So they would just download an app and contribute the RAM usage for HedgeBar revenue. And developers who want to host something on Franky would just pay per compute or pay for the hosting fee. And I'd like to show a little bit refurnished demo of what we have. It's much improved from what we had at the hackathon, and I'd like to play the video to you.
The deck looks great too, by the way. I know you probably put some more work into that. I can tell there's been some revisions.
Thank you. Can I play a video?
You should be able to press play.
Yeah, were you able to hear the audio?
Right. Could not hear audio.
Okay.
If you hard upload a video, oh wait, did anybody else hear audio? I think we did hear audio.
Oh, then it's cool. Then I just play it over, and you could follow it. Yeah.
Yeah. No audio. Sorry, we do not hear audio. If you want to talk over it, you can though.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Yeah. So first, you start with the device registration, where you follow a walkthrough of the video, and paste a command in your mobile phone in Termix, and you get a QR code and a setup link. So you can either paste the QR code or copy the link over to your browser. So here you set up your device. And, so now the device is being contributed to the network, and anyone can host an agent or any AI node on the network. But initially, in the first version, we built a system where we could host your AI agents on these devices. So here we have integrated certain tools that these agents could use. Yeah, so here is an interesting thing. So we use HCS10 for these agents. So when you want to interact with this agent, you could either send a transaction directly on chain or use a UI interface to message to the agent. So when you send a message, it's sending inbound message to the inbound topic, and you get a response back from the agent. Yeah, so we also integrated HCS20 points, where for every interaction you earn these points, which you could cash in when we launch our token on mainnet, and you could get airdrop for it. Yeah. And the current traction that we have on X, over the past 2 weeks, we got 30K impressions. And over the last 2 months, we collected a feedback of 151 responses. And currently, we have 6 closed alpha testers with whom we are building and iterating the project on different devices, of mobile devices. And this is how Franky is going to look. Maybe when we go to production, we don't want to make a terminal UX. It's going to create a lot of friction in our onboarding. So the users would have to download a mobile app, and they would have a widget that looks something like this. And the users don't have to worry about keeping it on all the time. They can just click on the widget to turn it on or turn it off. And you could see a timer of how much hours this Franky is running. And you will be able to see the analytics of all the revenue being made and how much data usage is being spent. And as for the developers, they see a different kind of UX, where they can see how much CPU is being used, or how much their agent or their AI node is being active on the network, and how much time it has outages and stuff. And all of this could be tracked on chain by sending all of these analytics in the UI. And yes, so that's what we have for now. And we'd love to have your support. Follow us on Franky Agents to get the latest updates. Yeah.
Awesome. Michael or Patches or Ed or anybody have anything for Franky?
I like the new UI. Yeah, you definitely have had a little bit, hackathons make it work. Now you're, refinement. So really cool to see the progress. And yeah, I still love the idea. There is an immense amount of just like electronic waste where these things and systems still work. And yeah, finding the compute to fine tune and to build and to deploy AI is going to be ever increasing as time goes on. So I think this distributed node network of AI that Franky is super cool, and I love that's being built on Hedera. I think Hedera is the best place for it. So a little biased, but
yeah,
exactly. awesome project and great update.
Yeah. Thank you. So when we were exploring options for different chains, we felt like Hedera is a good option because of another important reason, because they have fixed gas fees. And a lot of chains have very volatile gas fees, which would not really be scalable for us because we generate revenue in very thin margins. And we believe that this system where we have a fixed gas fee would enable us to build our business model well. Yeah.
I'll add a big +1 to what Ty said, because I actually love the problem that you're solving. You're taking that AI infrastructure and making it expensive, difficult to access, and you're making it affordable. You're making it accessible to the masses. And if you think about it, phones are like more powerful than the computers that put us in space, 5-6 decades ago, and they're only going to continue to get more powerful. And so I think as those new phones go to waste, I think this is a fantastic second life that we can give to those phones to enable AI agent commerce applications in the future for everyone. So I think this was an outstanding solution, and thank you for building this, great Gabriel, and thank you for building on Hedera.
Yeah,
I'm personally super excited to see where Franky goes. I think it's a really cool, innovative use of things like the Hedera Agent Kit, and agent infrastructure, and Open Convey as well. What I think we're all curious about, Gabriel, is what's the roadmap? What's next from Franky, and how can the community, how can other folks get involved with Franky going forward? And and potentially Spicy, is there a mainnet launch date that we should be paying attention to?
Yeah. So we really want to launch it in the public for users to use really soon, but we are currently in closed alpha. We still want to improve certain places, and we don't want to launch it as a termX solution like how we did it for the hackathon. So we really want at least a basic version of a mobile app where people can actually use it by just downloading and contributing their RAM right away. So we are still in the process of building the mobile app, and regarding the mainnet launch, so hopefully if we could launch our product by the next 2 months or sooner, we would launch the mainnet by Q1 of 2026, hopefully. Yeah. And still during the testnet phase, we would have the users still use the app and earn HCS 20 points, using which they could claim their airdrops when we launch our mainnet. So it's not going to be like non-incentivized usage. People are going to be incentivized, and there's going to be a lot of rewards and events that we are planning to organize over the next 6 months. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so
much. I have to say, sorry, Ryan. I have to say that I'm really impressed with your long-term plan to keep building the project here on Hedera and to launch it on mainnet. It's really impressive to see, and congratulations for that.
Yeah, thank you.
Awesome, Gabriel. Well, thank you so much. And let me load my screen back up here. I'm going to rotate you down here momentarily. Hang on 1 second. Add to stage. There we go. You can go to hashgraphodline.com again to the blog here that mentions all the winners, and check out the Franky Agents demo, and then give Franky Agents a follow on X as well. I think it's just at Franky Agents. I think I gave you guys a follow this morning. So and thank you to Gabriel. Looking forward to seeing the continued building on Hedera, and hopefully you guys get to mainnet as quick as possible. And looking forward to. I really liked the user experience that you guys showed on the cell phones. Was just a simple widget that literally just shows what 99% of people probably care about, which is like, is the app working, and am I generating revenue from my device? So awesome.
We just want to make it easy as possible. So it's like you don't have to care about using Franky. You can use the phone like how you use every day. So that's the UX that we kind of pushing towards.
100%. Well, Gabriel, thank you so much. I'm going to rotate you down to bring the other guests up, and hopefully this isn't the last time that we bring you back on and highlight what you guys are building. Let me bring up Cantor. Can you do me a favor in the chat here and look and see who's next, whether it's Tina or Vincent or Taylor? And I'm going to move into Talent AI. We have Mohammed up here with us today. Mohammed, I would love if you could give us kind of an intro, an overview of your experience with this hackathon. Tell us what you built. If you have anything you want me to load up on the screen, I'm happy to do that as well.
Thank you, Solomon, and the whole organization team. Talent AI is also a project that emerged from the hackathon, and we kept building before knowing the results, and we were part of the winners, as it was a great opportunity to practice more. Actually, the current team built previously on Hedera, but implementing the ERC10 was like a great opportunity to keep building. So I'm deeply grateful for the whole organization team, for the mentoring sessions that we had during the hackathon and post hackathon. Now we are holding recurrent meetings with Michael mainly, and we know that we have the whole Hedera ecosystem support.
That's
So yeah,
fantastic.
I'm gonna share my screen to bring some slides that we prepared um, uh, for some updates. And in the meantime, I can remind those who missed Talent AI. It's an AI agent interview tool that runs interviews to verify skills. So we are shifting the hiring industry from resume to interviews to verified skills. And while balancing the model, so we are rewarding and incentivizing developers to take the interviews and make companies bet for to book at first the interview with the talents. And so far, we are already testing on a closed beta version. During the last 10 days, we onboarded roughly 200 users. 81 of them took the full assessment with a pass rate of 38%. That means the agent is working quite interestingly. In the meantime, we understand there is a lot of work to do, both on the technical side and building the go-to-market strategy. From technical perspective, we keep building and improving the agent capabilities for more precise talent matching, and basically adopting different languages and taking different technical and soft skills tests. Implementing the HS10, of course, and improving the user experience as we are planning to go on a bigger scale in the next 2 weeks. We are part of different activities in the Hedera ecosystem and plan to close the first 1,000 users by next month. While we get also the first strategic partnerships within the Hedera ecosystem still, and companies are starting to test the Talent AI tool. So that's basically everything. I would benefit from that spot to invite everyone going on the website and start taking the test. So it's app.talentai.bid. And as a developer, you can take the test starting today. It balances the game, the hiring game between developers and companies.
That's awesome. I think it's really, I think a couple of the areas that I think are really going to be impactful with kind of the agentic AI stuff is certainly, there's definitely, I'm sure, a lot of float and even like being able to authenticate skills that are on resumes. I think a lot of people kind of probably get across the line right now with fraudulent stuff on their resume. The other area is education, but I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole. But awesome. I thought it was a really cool use case. And your browser screen, by the way, looks a lot like mine. I saw like 80 browser tabs open at once, and I'm like, is this guy on my browser tab? But Patches or Michael or Ed, anybody else that has anything for Mohammed. And great to see, by the way, that you guys are consistently following up with that feedback loop and getting a lot of people using what you guys are putting out there into the wild, because those numbers are pretty awesome to see just a few weeks after the hackathon.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's what I was going to comment on. It's great to see that these projects for the Hedera XAI hackathon are not just hackathon projects, but they're viable businesses that you guys are pouring your time into and refining after the winners were chosen. And yeah, those numbers for as early on as you are in the project are super impressive and super cool to see that you're growing a brand and a company from this idea that you were able to solidify through a hackathon. It's awesome.
I want to add that this
Thank
is
you.
another brilliant business use case. In fact, hiring is a very difficult decision. It's a very difficult process. It's both science and art at the same time. And I think it's one of those areas where by using AI agents, we can enhance that process, right? It's not like you're automating the whole thing, but you're making that process a little bit more round, more automated, and helping the human side make that decision in a more streamlined manner. So I think it's a fantastic use case. And again, great to see that being built on Hedera as well throughout the hackathon.
Thanks, Mohammed. So you're probably expecting this. I'm going to keep asking everyone the same question. We're really excited to see this, and I love that even after the hackathon, you're continuing to build this out. I think for most folks, we're curious, what's the roadmap for Talent AI? Where is this going? And also, I think something that you didn't quite touch on is, how does your solution use Hedera specifically?
Yeah. So when it comes to the roadmap, we currently have three main focuses. First is user growth, targeting the first 1,000 in the next few days, and 10,000 users by the end of this summer. While building partnerships, as I've been saying, like we already secured the first strategic partners to test the solution. And when it comes to the tech component, we are working on enhancing our skill verification system and launching the automated agent in the third quarter of 2025. As a long-term vision, refining the AI agent SDK, expanding the features for enterprise client, and grow the market presence, basically, or at first within the Hedera ecosystem, and then scaling on the whole Web3 ecosystem and tech and tech companies in general. As I said, like our team has already built some projects on Hedera. We obviously trust the technology and see Hedera as the layer that we can leverage to scale business. First for security, efficiency as well, but mainly also for the fixed fees that help us build like a reasonable business case.
I guess what I was asking more is, specifically with Talent AI, how are you leveraging Hedera? And then also to follow up, that's a little bit unrelated. We'd be curious, how was your experience with the hackathon? And were there any learnings from the hackathon that helped translate into, you mentioned things like enterprise and scaling, and how did that kind of pan out for you?
I would mention the HCS10, of course, as a layer that we haven't used before, and we doubled down on that during the hackathon. The agent-to-agent communication features, of course, and what we learned basically is, as much as we build during the hackathon with the jury day and the pitching day in mind, we need to have a long-term vision, and that's something that the organization team, I think, always appreciate rather than building just for the hackathon.
Anybody else have anything for Mohammed? Awesome. Well, thank you, Mohammed, and really appreciate you joining in. Looking forward to seeing that first 1,000 users, and looking forward to hopefully having you back on again as the platform kind of continues down the pipeline here. So really appreciate you joining, Mohammed. Congratulations on winning within the hackathon, and looking forward to having you back on again in the near future.
Thank you, Solomon, and thanks everyone.
All right, let me bring up, let me do some rotational aspects here. I know we have Tina up here from Unthink. Tina, I'll ask you the same question that we're asking everybody as they come up. What was your experience like during the hackathon? Congratulations for winning portions of the track. So the HCS10 Open Convey track, first place was Unthink AI. Congratulations to Tina and team. Tell us what your experience was like, and if you have anything you want to share as far as like screen share or anything, feel free to load that up and I will make sure to bring it up.
Yes, hello everybody. Hey, Solomon, thank you very much I was very honored by being selected for the first place. Thank you. And I think the hackathon really helped us understand how we could leverage the Hedera ecosystem for our growth. So we always believed in the growth of the ecosystem through Hedera, but this time, like doing something hands-on really helped us figure out what the actual interface would look like and what the effort would be when we actually go commercial. So I have a screen. I'll just go quickly through it.
We can all see it. It's loaded up right now.
Okay, awesome. So I'm going to quickly recap our mission, and then I'll come to the hackathon portion and our future goals. Right. So just to recap, so the problem we're solving is that brands are not able to reach consumers, and communities. Brands could reach them through communities, but communities are there and they're not monetizing. So they're sitting there and they've got an audience. So engagement is sitting with communities, and brands want engagement, but communities can't monetizing. So there's a gap. And the solutions so far that have come up on Web3 have been basically like the community side has been something that Web3 focuses on typically. Look like communities around art, gaming, events, sports. There are currencies that are tokenized, tokens, all that stuff is happening. But there is a missing piece, and the missing piece is basically transactions and commerce. So what we as Unthink are trying to do, our long-term goal is to get commerce in.
I think when she closed her screen down, she accidentally kicked herself from the space. Let's get Tina back up here. I'm sure she'll join back in. No, I think she was going down a really interesting direction because we do see all of these kind of niche communities. I don't want to use the word niche, but these communities that kind of garner themselves around, whether it's music or gaming or the meme type stuff, whatever. But what we're not seeing is that consistency of like, how are these people engaging with something that like on a daily basis, on an hourly basis, that impacts kind of their normal life. I hope Tina comes back in. Anybody else have anything on what thoughts were for Unthink AI while we wait for Tina to hop back in?
I think you point out a very good challenge of any community building initiative, which is what's beyond the initial attraction and growth of that community, which is the retention piece. And that's what's sometimes tricky, that retention piece. And I think, that's what Tina's solution aims to solve in a very interesting way. So I'm curious to hear the full pitch. But again, another fantastic business use case that we're seeing solved here as part of the hackathon.
Yeah, just a recap while hopefully she comes back in. You can check out the entire Unthink AI pitch from the founder demo. This is essentially busy creators rarely have time to field every brand inquiry or fan question. Unthink lets them share a single agentic link that does it for them. The on-chain agent screen messages, proposes sponsorship terms, escrows payments on Hedera, even monetizing premium Q&As. Every step is written to an HCS 10 topic, giving creators a tamper-proof login conversations their fans can always revisit. I don't see Tina back in here. So I think what we're going to do is let's move to Novix. And then if Tina comes back in, we'll give her a couple of minutes to kind of give us some of the highlights and let her kind of close out her segment. But we have Vincent from Novix. Vincent, what was your experience like with the Hedera X AI hackathon? And if you have anything you want to share up on your screen without accidentally clicking the button that removes you from the entire space, please feel free to load it up and I'll bring it up. But what was your experience like with the hackathon?
My experience was actually, for me it was interesting because it's been a while, more than 2 years or 3 years since participating in a hackathon. It's been so long, and we actually built the project within like 2 weeks. So it was less than 2 weeks. That's when we actually started building the project. So we had never interacted with Hedera before. So it was our first time actually building anything on Hedera. Everything was new. We didn't even understand HCS. We spent like a week trying to understand HCS 10, how AI agents actually work. because we had never worked on AI agent in so long. I've been off from blockchain in like 2 or 3 years there, so it was interesting experience coming back, trying to build interesting solution for the hackathon. Yeah, it was the first time participating in a hackathon since like 2022 there. Yeah.
Well, I would say that's for having to basically do crash course in a week and a half. You might be onto something, so you should definitely continue kind of working in the agentic AI thing, because obviously you have a lot of people that really love the solution that you built. I'm going to share my screen unless you have your screen that you want to share with anything, and just kind of tell us a little bit more about what is Novix. What is this kind of community run marketplace? What can people do there, and how does it tie in Hedera, and how does it tie in AI?
So our idea was like this idea actually came from like the first time I actually saw something to do with Hedera, and I don't remember the actual context was, but it was like a tutorial on YouTube. Someone was explaining how to build human in the loop with an AI agent. And then it got interesting. Then I got an idea. Like here in Kenya, where I am based, we normally have to file our returns by end of June, which is like in a few days. And I was like, what if we build an AI agent that actually does that? Like I just give it my details and actually processes my returns, my salary for the last like 12 months, and then submits to the tax bureau and all that. And it was like, how do we actually bring all these AI agents that people are building out here and then put them in the same marketplace, whereby I, as a layman person, I just come, I need an AI agent that does this thing really good, and then I can be able to pay some fees for it to achieve a given task. So that was our angle when we were coming into doing the hackathon. We wanted to build something like that because we saw like, if we can get a whole marketplace place whereby just anyone can come, and then they just use their natural language, the way they have been used to working with ChatGPT, just using the same idea, maybe get something they really want, and maybe interact with the agent, get to pay maybe some few coins on Hedera, and then they get something done for themselves. Yeah.
Awesome. Michael, or Patricia, or Tudor, or Ed, Jay, anybody that wants to kind of follow up on Novix, that'd be great.
I think I see the Jake, your mic is unmuted. Were you going to say something?
Test. Yeah. Yeah. So I did want to mention a bit of a shameless plug that actually we've got a hackathon coming up starting in 2 weeks' time, and we have a dedicated track. We've got a track for AI, but we also have a track for existing builders to take a project that you've done from a previous Hedera hackathon and then take it into the hackathon and keep on building it. So what I would say is definitely apply for it. I'm sure we can get the sign-up information very easily and apply to it. You can submit the same project, obviously keep building it, but make it better and better. And then it's a great opportunity to essentially keep on building the project, and then hopefully in the end become in a mature enough position to then take it to the Hedera Foundation, get some external funding, and make it a reality, deploy it on mainnet. So that would be my only thing to add. And it's applicable to everybody on here, whether you're one of the winners or you're a participant who's watching. You can still bring your existing project, keep building. We love to see it, and we really want to take you through that whole journey. There it is up here. We want to take you through that whole journey all the way up until mainnet. That's really important to us.
We're just starting to hear about some of this stuff too, right, Jay? I mean, I know that you told me about, how excited you are about this one, and maybe some collaboration and stuff like that coming down the pipeline here, which I think is going to be absolutely awesome. So yeah, for those interested, please go check out hellofuturehackathon.dev to check out the Hello Future Origins hackathon with 550K in prizes, 3 chapters, and yeah, you heard right here. There's an AI track as well. But awesome. So I mean, Cantor, I'm going to let you, if we want to close out with Vincent here and ask kind of roadmap questions, anything else, and we'll keep moving down the pipeline here.
Yeah, Vincent, I think for us, what we're curious on is, well, one, I love that you love the experience of going through the hackathon. It was a lot of work and making that a great experience from all the participating organizations. What I'd love to know is, where is Novix going? What is your roadmap? And if you have that prepared to show us today in maybe a slide or two, that would be fantastic. And will there be a launch on mainnet for Novix as well?
Okay, let me share a slide. I have not prepared much, but let me show something. Can you see my screen?
Yep.
So our roadmap is based on how can we make the monetization for these AI agents better, because as much as our idea was around how can we create a portal whereby people can access it, but now we needed to redefine how we can monetize these AI agents. So our main idea right now would be setting up an infrastructure that actually supports pay as you go, pay per task, essentially. So like if an AI agent is able to achieve a specific task efficiently, it can now be able to get paid for that task, and the developer can be able to earn from it. So for that, we needed to build that infrastructure for the deploying of the agent and be able to monitor all that process using mostly we're planning to use that using HCS10 protocol mostly. Yeah, because we need to keep track of all the events that are happening on the AI agents on the platform. So for the payments, we are thinking like how can we make that process less tedious, and we are still trying to explore that side. But our roadmap goes on how can we make monetization easier, and also maybe after that we can be able to launch on testnet for beta test, and then we launch on the mainnet when the whole platform is ready, maybe before the end of the year, because the infrastructure is actually the hard part of it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Vincent. Looking forward to seeing all the awesome initiatives coming out of Novix. And yeah, come back on. I mean, obviously you're on to something here. I mean, with the crash course with AI and learning all the Hedera tooling in a really short amount of time, it's awesome to see you break through and win one of the portions of one of the tracks here. So looking forward to seeing you again, and hopefully we get some of the stuff on mainnet in the near future. So thank you, Vincent. Appreciate it.
Okay, thank you.
All right, we're going to rotate again. And Tina, I see you back up here. So Tina, please feel free to finish where you were at. So I think we were just done with your slides, and then we'll make sure we get through you, and then we'll get to blockchain, Oracle, and HederaPayBot. But Tina, the floor is yours still.
Yes, hello. Sorry about that. I don't know what happened. I actually finished through before I realized that that I was not online. So I will restart. I have shared my presentation. I'll just restart where I dropped off, and I'll finish it this time.
Okay.
Please let me know if I drop off. I have Taylor there. She'll tell me, I guess. Yes, I think
got
I was
it.
here. I was here. Am I right?
You were here. Yep.
Yes. All right. Okay. So I was just basically saying that we want to bring commerce and revenue and transactions into the system, right? So there are lots of communities with lots of potential who want to be there. There are brands who want them. What we're trying to fill this gap here. So now I'll come to this. What we do, just to quickly summarize again. So we are trying to plug and play these things into the community. So for example, we have communities, so we're bringing conversations, not just conversations, but conversations around commerce. For stores, we are bringing in AI search and discovery. So if somebody has an e-commerce site, we would plug and play an AI agent where people can find products and ask for products in a very different way from normal shopping today. Social media videos would plug into pages that are shoppable. So you have linkable products that are connected to videos that influencers put out, for example. And then for events, we have check-in agents, and we have pop-up stores, and we have engagement agents. So we are bringing in agents with one single purpose of commerce and monetization. So just to recap, what we did at the hackathon was for Avery, we showed you how Avery's agent can interact with her community for them to ask questions, again related to shopping, and how the brands can interact with her agent to ask questions about like her campaign performance and stuff like that. So now after the hackathon, or during and around the hackathon, we had been talking to lots of different communities who were very keen to get on board. And I'm just summarizing, like I can't name all of them here, but I'll go through a few. So Toronto New Moms is a club that is a mom's club in Canada, and they want to have basically people discover the best safe baby products that are not just pushed by brands, but like verified by real mothers who have used the products. Then there's Fitness Ambassadors of Dallas, where the lady is very passionate about outdoor events, and she's trying to transform Dallas into a community of more active people who are sports enthusiasts and who actually like even people who even leave their work day to come and work out in the middle of the day, for example. So these are guys where we have already given them the agent and they're sort of playing with it. They have tried it out at various places. So we are getting the test cases out. We are also talking to some bigger clubs that are actually not on Hedera today, but we think that there is a very good way for us to bridge them into Hedera through the agent ecosystem and still keep their tokens on their current ecosystem, but work with Hedera so that we get more users into the Hedera network. And then we have working with very niche communities like a Puja community in India, where the current Puja landscape is very distributed and uncoordinated, unorganized rather. So they want to bring in more easy discovery. So for example, if there is somebody in India who belongs to a specific sect and they want to do specific puja, they can discover it through their platform. And we are going to be helping them bring it from ground up with hardly any tech or work. They should be able to just like get on our platform and get on board with it. So this is the sort of stuff that we're seeing from the customer side. Is we're seeing keen interest for like really good communities that they want to monetize, they want brands, they want to engage, and we're very excited about it because we have by being an enabler of e-commerce and also being connected to Hedera, which has the payments and the transparency part of it. I think we're at a great position to have a win-win solution. This was just the demo day stuff. I'm skipping that. I'll walk through a quick agents flow just for your deeper understanding. So we are also building like a self sign-up solution. We've built it, but we have to launch it still. So it's sort of in test phase. So imagine the creator or a leader of a creator community comes, they sign up. They can first get a chat which is connected to their Instagram or blog. Second, they can come and connect their e-commerce store where they can have AI-enabled search and discovery. Then they can come and run their events. So they can add an events agent where they can have people, the community or the audience come and sign up and then go check out stores at their event. They can also have a virtual pop-up store on a display running at their event. So this is how we see.
Sorry to interrupt you, Tina. For clarity, the way that a user would interact with your agent, basically a influencer or an account, they would put in this link inside of their bio from their Instagram account or their Twitter account, and that's how they would get to the agent. Is that right?
Yes, that's right. So for the agent would get discovered. So what we give them is a URL, which is either a bespoke URL of custom URL of their own, or it's a URL which they already have, like it's a sub URL of their existing website. And then this agent link can be broadcast by them on their WhatsApp, Twitter, whatever they want, and they can also put it as a link in bio on their Instagram. So it's not going to be like embedded inside Instagram. As of now, it's a link that can just sit on Instagram. Did I answer your question?
Yes, exactly. I just wanted to provide clarity for the audience.
Yes,
so folks
thank you.
understand how they would interact with your agent.
Yes, thank you very much. And now as the creator signs up and starts interacting with the audience, we're going to have two important data sets. One is the creator data, which is like which brands they talk about, which hashtags they're good at, which segments they add value to, and this is the creator data. Then there is the user data, which is the end users of the creators. And you have the user preferences and user wish lists and all that data, audience summary. So now we have two really powerful sets of data that can be put on the HCS framework, and they can be made available to brands or you consumers of this data, for example, by brands who can come and ask questions and can charge, and they can be charged for access to a customer wish list. They can be charged for access to a creator or access to, like any of the things that we'll be providing here. And the third angle, which I have not added the box here, is that by working with different verticals, like I talked to you about, all the way from fitness to collectibles to puja, we'll have vertically trained agents which would be growing in value as they become better and better with the data. And the goal is that tokens are going to be issued to reward people for contributing to all the data growth here. So that's basically our vision, from like the smallest unit, which is the creator, to the bigger, the community, to the brand, and then to the actual ecosystem itself, by becoming or enabling, valuable data for the ecosystem.
Yeah.
I hope it's clear now, the roadmap and the thought process. I hope that's clear now.
I think there's just a lot of potential. Like I know, even looking at let's use like the lowest hanging fruit possible, and you can look at like, blockchain networks and different ecosystems, and trying to navigate Twitter or X and trying to figure out, which content is valuable, which content is actually valuable when you compare it to like how many people are talking about Hedera on a given day based on a given post, based on, artificial intelligence and a subject. I think it's massively a hugely valuable use case. And I could probably like host an hour-long space just talking about this use case. So I really like it. So Tina, yeah, I'm glad that you hopped back in, and I think it's gonna be really interesting to see the ways that agentic AI interpopulates with like social profiles. Yes. And how brands then can kind of utilize that data to become closer to the consumers. And there's all sorts of different things we could talk about, but awesome use case.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. It's really exciting to see these kinds of things, and it's also just bringing diversity into the ideas that we see in Web3 in general. This is a very different approach. It's starting from a Web2 angle first. You're looking at how users in these networks, social media networks, can benefit from Web3 and Hashgraph and Hedera in general. And I think that's really exciting. And I think we need to see more of that, because there's a lot of problems out there, and some of them are really boring problems. There's tons of boring problems out there, but nobody wants to do them. And those boring problems can be billion-dollar ideas, right? But everyone wants to launch a meme coin on the layer 2 blockchain. But let's look for more of these problems that actually solve something for an end user at the end of the day, where in Tina's case, you have these influencer accounts who cannot clone themselves yet, but now they can with AI agents. How can we use those AI agents to distribute their workload and communicate to their fans? And I think it's really exciting. I'm really looking forward to how this develops, Tina. And also, I want to welcome up Tudor, who's here as well. I think he hasn't had a moment to speak yet. Tudor, what are your thoughts about Unthink AI, as a leading accelerator on Hedera?
Yeah, thanks, Michael. Very cool to be here with all the winners. Congratulations, not only to the people presenting today, but also to the participants. And Tina is a familiar face to us, to the Hedera ecosystem. She's been building Unthink AI for some time, and I think with the advent of AI agents, and this being something that the Web3 marketplace is really keen, a space that the Web3 market wants to develop and is paying very deep attention to. I feel like the potential that Tina has with Unthink AI is very broad. There's a lot of use cases, as you guys rightly mentioned, that can be tapped into this influencer economy. There's a lot of, we see how big influencers are worldwide, how they are the stars of today. And with agents, with communities that are being engaged by agents facilitated by Unthink AI, and with an additional layer of gamification, along with the right go-to-market strategy, I think that we will see network effects cascading from Unthink AI potentially into Hedera. So that to say that we are very interested at HeadStarter to support the go-to-market strategy for a lot of the leaders in our space. And when it comes to Unthink AI, we foresee a great future, hopefully. Should be the end of 2025 and going into 2026 should be the year that we will finally see a lot of network effects through applications such as Unthink AI and artists, musicians being unchained on the distributed ledger, so to say. So congratulations again to Tina and the winners. And we're very, very keen to see you guys going forward and to see how market fit will be facilitated through Hedera's unique services suite.
Cantor, I know we're going to probably rotate here to HederaPayBot, but Tina, real quick, could you just tell us kind of the roadmap moving forward, where you're at now, where you plan to be this year? That'd be great.
Yes, so we're planning two things, two angles of integration with Hedera specifically. I'll give you with Hedera and the separate stuff as well. So first is we are planning to integrate with Open Convey and get the agents integrated there with the data sitting on HCS. We might use we have to still think about whether to start with the points, HCS 20, or the tokens. So that's a discussion and strategy that we'll formulate along with Tudor and HeadStarter. So we'll have the token side and we'll have the Open Convey integration side happening. On the other end, we are also in parallel developing a Shopify app. So as soon as the Shopify app is launched, we'll have like a nice access to brand catalogs on Shopify, which will be awesome as well. So these are the three sort of scaling mechanisms, apart from the multiple conversations we're having with different creator communities who are even not on Hedera. So I see this year as the scaling year, where we take our product like really big out into the market.
Awesome. Yeah, and all the while making sure that there's like, I'm sure you guys are trying to consider feedback loops between each different thing to make sure that maybe there's a way to tie all this stuff in together. Yeah, makes sense.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much, Tina, and I'm glad that we were able to get you back up here on the stage. I'm going to move over to HederaPayBot and Blockchain Oracle. Blockchain Oracle, tell us about your experience with the Hedera X AI hackathon, and thank you for joining us today.
It was actually awesome building on Hedera network. To be honest, building on Hedera network taught me more than any tutorial could. It was just me taking crash course and getting my hands there, just going straight to the industry and stuff. So let me just show a brief introduction about HederaPayBot. HederaPayBot is just actually an innovation for social media finance. The traditional way you send cryptocurrencies to people is you have to get their wallet address, you have to go through extensions and other applications to reward your favorite creators and all of those. But a way which you can reward favorite creators with your social media handles, not just social media handles, you can go on Twitter and tag their username and reward them. That's what HederaPayBot is all about. So I actually did a detailed guide of my roadmap, so allow me to present my screen. Let me know. Can you see my screen?
Loading it up right now. Sorry.
Okay.
All right, there we go. You should be good, but you need to go to the non. There we go. Perfect.
Okay. First, my roadmap should be, of course, I do plan to move to mainnet. This will be around 2026 because this project was roughly built for an hackathon, and there are a lot of stuff actually coming soon. I do want to do KYC integration because this requires payments and all of those stuff, audit and security too, because I need to make sure things are actually going on correctly, and yeah, we don't want to be getting hacked. And during the last meeting, I didn't actually have a monetization strategy, and that was actually a feedback I took. So my monetization strategy, I divided it into these two. I plan to do cross platform support or multiple chain support. Multiple chain supporting says that I don't want to create friction for my users. Users, they're already familiar with like the Ethereum ecosystem or other ecosystem. I want to bring multiple chain supports in order for me to reduce friction in that way. But I'm incentivizing users to use the Hedera network, such that for every transactions they perform with the HederaPayBot, they get a 20% discount if it's actually on the Hedera network. HederaPayBot was actually built for Twitter and Telegram. I actually do want to integrate Twitch and YouTube because I think streaming is actually becoming a thing right now. So where I got inspiration from that was Streamer Elements. Let me see if you can check my screen for Streamer Elements. Streamer Elements looks just like this, and HederaPayBot to allow you to, reward your favorite creators with Streamer Element and all of this stuff. So yeah, man, that's me building on HederaPayBot, and that's the wrap for me so far. Let me know if you have like any questions or feedback.
Will you be participating as a follow-up to the Origins hackathon?
Yeah. Because I'll be building a lot on Hedera. I'll be building a lot more on the Hedera network and the Hashgraph Online. So you'll be seeing me more often. Yeah.
So I have a question for you because you mentioned the 20% discount if people utilize HBAR to send tips. So for example, if I send 25 HBAR to someone as a tip, how much does the person actually receives and how much stays with the platform? Don't think about that 20% discount, just like the 25 HBAR as an example.
Okay, let me just actually break this down. The percentage is actually like a fee we are taking for every X amount of transfers. Like if you perform every X amount of transfers, is the fee we're actually taking. So if you're performing your transactions on your Hedera network, we're reducing that by 20%. I hope that answered your question.
But in terms of the tip that I sent, when I send someone a tip, how much does the person get from that tip? And how much stays with you, the platform?
The person gets 100% the amount. The fee we're taking is like the transaction charges for Hedera network, for HederaPayBot.
Okay, so if I send someone 25 HBARs, that person receives the 25 HBARs, and then it's the network fee that I'm paying on top.
Yeah. So after like a certain amount of transfers, we take our own fee from their money. Yeah.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Cantor, anybody else?
No, I think that was great. I think having the capability to talk with a bot through Twitter or other streaming mechanisms will be really great for adoption. It's good to have these retail-facing use cases within the ecosystem. So I think we're just excited to see where you go next with this. I think it was great that you outlined your roadmap ahead of time. I think the Hedera community is here to support and encourage more innovation from you and your team. I think we've got Santiago here next from Space Dev.
Awesome. Well, thank you to HederaPayBot and Blockchain Oracle, and don't let this be the last time we have you on. So I look forward to seeing you again. So, all right. So we're gonna round out here with Santiago and Space Dev. I'll start out with the low-hanging fruit question. What was the Hedera XAI hackathon like? What was your experience? And if you could tell us a little bit about what you built, that'd be fantastic.
Okay, hi. Well, we at Space Dev, we were looking for something we could do with Hedera because that's a blockchain we are really interested in. And also we are doing some research with AI. So when we found this hackathon, it was like a perfect place to go and try to build things merging this AI with blockchain. So we just thought that was great and decided to participate. We decided to build a nation that audits smart contracts, mostly because that's something that we ourselves see as using. So I mean that's the main reasons to be there.
Awesome. Anybody, Cantor, I'm sure you dug a little bit deeper into this one. Anything that really stuck out to you, or even potentially like impacts just on the network itself? That'd be great.
Yeah, I think for us, this is a really good showcase of what you can do with OpenConvey. As a user, you're able to chat with this decentralized agent and send it snippets of your code or your smart contract, and then it's able to audit that smart contract for you. I guess my question, Santiago, is will your team continue to build out the smart contract auditor post this hackathon? I know that Ed mentioned and Jake mentioned there is an upcoming hackathon in July, which will have another AI track. And additionally, I know there's another big hackathon coming up where you have another opportunity to participate. Do you see this as being something that you will continue to build out within your team? And what does that roadmap look like?
Right. Well, I'm sharing my screen. I have a couple of slides for that.
Thank you.
Well, I actually had like a resume overview of what we also presented in the demo, but I had this slide. At the moment, we don't have plans or decided to participate in the upcoming hackathons, but we do want to keep participating with Hedera. So we have these hackathons in our radar, depending on the times we have available. But for the current state of this project in particular, we are testing it in-house. We are using it to audit our own smart contracts that we are developing. We like the idea that we can then like publish in a topic or something this like audit to be seen by anyone. So that's something we really value at this system you are building to integrate agents. One big things we have here that since we use ELISA and it migrated to a new version recently, we are migrating everything to that version that also comes with some upgrades we can do. It's like better modularized to use plugins and things like that. One big thing we are trying to improve is this context. One thing I got asked in the demo was about security and how the agent can be updated with the latest security breach and all that. So we are working on adding this context to be pulled from good sources when it's auditing. And then for the next steps, we have all the things we already wanted after the demo, which is the ability to get the contract directly from Hashcan. It would be great if we could just get an idea of the deployed contract and get the audit. This is also really cool because you don't need to trust also the contract itself, because when you are chatting with the bot, you can send a contract, get some feedback, say, hey, this is published here with an audit, but when it's already published, pointing to a specific ID, you know that that contract didn't change. So that we think that's really important. And then we need to add some better user experience. Right now, we are just chatting it directly with the ELISA interface in the testings we are doing in-house. Well, adding more tools, this standardizing scoring model will be great to have other people building these bots, so you can have these bots that competing between each other and building trust in which one is better. And also that comes with the monetizing side. The HIP 991 is great for that. And if you have agents that are more trusted than others, you can also manage the amount of fees you charge for the service. So we think that Hedera provides some really good features to keep building on this.
Does Space Dev do smart contract audits like manual ones? Is that something that you guys do today?
Yeah, that's one service we can do. We are mostly developers, so we have our own audits internally, and these kind of agents can facilitate the process, or maybe have like um, previous steps before having a full audit, because when you want to hire another company to audit a contract, is kind of expensive to have like a full audit. But providing a service where you can just go push your contract and get some feedback and some kind of score of security and all that, just paying some fee on blockchain, that sounds like a great service you can provide, like a previous step before requesting a full audit.
Absolutely, and that's where I was kind of going with this. Is that I don't think it's a replacement for a manual audit from a dedicated security team, but I do think it's a good adjacent service for someone to just get feedback on their smart contracts and their code for potential pitfalls before they start the process of doing a full audit. You know, they could probably save a lot of money by using something like this initially, because I know with audits, you have a bit of a back and forth process, and that back and forth process can get more and more expensive as you make changes. So at least having the AI agent is a good way to proof out any early issues. But I wouldn't, personally, I don't think it would be a replacement, but I think it's a good complementary service. And there are revenue models that work well with HIP 991, and also the idea of open convey, as you mentioned, make a lot of sense, because now you have this ability to link to these communication topics that agents have made to say, okay, this is where this was performed. So there is no risk of, well, this guy just made this thing up. Like, well, no, this is what the AI agent said. It's verified state that it returned, and you can link to that, at least for that early process. I personally like this a lot. I think we'd love to see within the, from at least from the Hashgraph Online perspective, how we can continue support and see your vision through. So feel free to reach out to us, and let's see what we can do around that part. Do you have any plans for a mainnet launch for your agent?
We don't have like a specific date for that, but it's something that we'll like to do eventually. As I said, this is something we are testing in house and trying to get a good feeling on how it's working. But once we feel it's ready, yeah, we would love to post that on mainnet.
Great. I know, Tudor, you work a lot with like the DeFi Alliance, and also with a lot of companies through your accelerators that are integrating DeFi or smart contract solutions. What are your thoughts on this?
Well, I think that's definitely something that should be pursued on the Hedera network. There's a lot of projects that build on Hedera. There's a lot of new faces that we've seen even right now with the Agent Hackathon. And it's my belief that a tool such as this one would be leveraged by builders big and small. Potentially can be something that could be standardized, as Michael mentioned, with the DeFi Alliance, to potentially scope out and have a basic overview of core DeFi applications based on volumes and TVL. So definitely keen to see you continue pursuing this development on Hedera Space Dev.
Right.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Santiago. Yeah, I think this was kind of everybody. I do want to, before we hop, and I'll rotate Santiago down here, But I wanted to allow Jake to maybe have a little bit more of a podium here to talk about this Hello Future Origins. Let me load my screen back up. So this is coming up in the near term. I know we kind of briefly mentioned it a little bit earlier, but it looks like there's 4 tracks. So the Hedera AI Studio, which is something that was just announced over the past, I want to say past month. Maybe I'm just time's flying too quick. 4 to 6 weeks. There's a DeFi and tokenization track. There's a sustainability track, and there's a legacy builders track. But yeah, walk us through. I mean, this is rapidly approaching. This is like 2 weeks from now. So
yeah, man, it's getting really, really close. So sign-ups are sort of open. You can sign up to it now. If you go to that website, you'll be able to see that sign-up form. Just a quick Airtable. This hackathon, it's as sort of described, it's part of a trilogy. So we have 3 hackathons before the end of the year, for a total of $550,000. This is just the first installment. And again, you can see that we have that legacy builders track, and that legacy builders track is perfect for the people who we've spoken to today, for any other hackers who've hacked in previous hackathons, whether that be in-person ones from ETH Denver or ETH Prague, or if you're going to be at ETH Cannes in about a week, or the Hedera hackathon, the AI hackathon, the Kenya hackathon, all of the hackathons we've done this year, you can keep building your products in that legacy builders, and you can keep doing that in the 3 installments. Okay. I also want to give a quick plug. So one of our really strong partners in the Hedera ecosystem, the Hashgraph Association, they're also running a massive hackathon, and we're working really closely together. Basically, developers, you're going to have Hedera hackathons non-stop for like the next year, probably. And it's going to be Hashgraph. We're going to be running some. We're going to be going back and forth, giving devs just an amazing opportunity to build non-stop. Big prizes on the line. You're going to have the best of the best helping you. People like Michael, of course. I mean, Michael, I know, is working very closely with Hashgraph Online for this particular hackathon. But it's a really good opportunity if you're a new builder to go into one of the 3 sort of new tracks. That's tokenization, AI, and sustainability. Again, you'll get mentorship and you get all of the resources that you need to help it a reality. And then also, if you have an existing product you want to keep on building, use these as a perfect opportunity. There's the incentive for you. And then downstream, after the hackathon, we can help you to get funding from THA or funding from THF, because obviously you would have proved your quality and been able to mature your product in these really suitable, nurturing environments. So that's kind of it from me. I'm always happy to sort of answer any more questions if anyone has any. But yeah, definitely sign up to this one. This is the next one. Then we have the THA Hedera Africa Hackathon. It's branded as Africa Hackathon, but it's actually open for everyone. And then immediately after that, we'll have the part 2 of the trilogy, then part 3 of the trilogy, and then we'll be in 2026, and there'll be more hackathons in that year as well.
Awesome. No, and I know, this one stuck out to me. I think when it was announced, I think they announced the Africa hackathon, which, as you mentioned, it's just branded that way. Because I know even when I interviewed Kamal, he mentioned that, go and do some more digging into this because there's a lot more ways to participate. I think it's pretty awesome because I remember like a few years ago, like there's been a major ramp up in I guess we'll call them hackathons, but are they, they're kind of like almost transitioning more so into like accelerator type things as well, where it's like, so I mean, what's that kind of been like? Because like so we just had the Hedera XAI one, that was 2 big demo days. Before that, I want to say there was a big hackathon in maybe January or February that winners were announced. I think those were the only 2 this year. Now you're mentioning another 3 this year, just coming out of like Hashgraph initiatives and Hedera. You have Hashgraph Association with one. I mean, that's pretty massive. I think like a couple of years ago, maybe I'm wrong, but I think a few years ago there was like 1 or 2 hackathons maybe throughout the whole year, and now we're seeing like 6, 7. So I think it's pretty cool to see.
Yeah, and so the one, yeah, you're right. That there was the Hello Future hackathons from last year. I think the last one was ended in December, but we did the announcements in January.
Yep, that was it.
This is the Hello Future installment for 2025. But you're right. I mean, we're at a point now in, I guess, in Web3 as an ecosystem where actually it's not about enticing people to of course, there is still an element of getting new people in, but we've got a really rich developer ecosystem inside of Hedera and more broadly speaking in the whole Web3 community. And now it's about empowering people to build products which are actually market viable, which is why I'm currently doing a lot of stuff spearheading the hackathon push internally. But one of my really big goals is to, and I know that Cantor shares a lot of these views, is to basically help people not just win a hackathon, but actually use the hackathon as a springboard to then launch and ship a real product. We did an amazing example of this in the previous AI hackathon, where we had people then pitching to VCs on that day, and also actively bringing them into the funnel of the Hedera Foundation, who can provide some funding. Likewise, the Hashgraph Association, they can also provide funding. And what I would say for developers is, don't just build something which is flashy and looks cool. Also do things like market validation, because these are marking criteria. It's not just about, this UI is really nice and you use X, Y, and Z service. If you can come in and say, I'm solving this problem, and I can prove that it's actually going to benefit it, that's going to rank you really highly. And it's then going to make it easier for you to transition into a grant application or some VC funding, because you've done this. You've not just done the tech stuff, you've also done the business stuff. And that's something which I want to emphasize as being very important. But I'll open it up to anyone, any of these amazing guests here, if they want to maybe add to that.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's a huge part of it is, we didn't come, like, over the last couple of years, we'd have a hackathon every now and then. And I think the difference with how these are being operated now in the ecosystem and before is we're looking at these as, like Jake said, as a launch pad to essentially bring real startups and businesses into the ecosystems. As we've seen today, all of the winners of Hedera XA and Hedera AI Agents Hackathon, they had a roadmap and they had slide decks and they have a plan for what they're going to go and do next with what they've built. This isn't just a situation where, okay, you've got a little bit of money and now you move on to the next network that has another one of these hackathons. It's really targeted towards folks who are serious about building something and they want to see it built on Hedera through the technology that we're all working very closely to incubate and grow. I'm personally looking really forward to the next 6 months with all of these hackathons that are happening in between the ecosystem. Hashgraph Online, from my perspective, will be very much involved in all of these events going forward. And you will be seeing a lot more of us in terms of that. Even with the upcoming one in 2 weeks, the AI track will be utilizing the Hedera Agent Kit, which Hashgraph Online helped develop in AI Studio and OpenKit Bay. So we're glad to be a part of that and help incubate this ecosystem, especially on the AI side. I think if anything we've seen is that, and this is no joke or exaggeration, AI will encompass every single crack, line, and piece of these ecosystems, not just in Web3, but also in Web2, in enterprise, etc. We're seeing it happen very, 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 very fast. And the worst thing that anyone could do right now is fall asleep at the wheel. We all need to be aligned on where AI is heading because it's moving quite fast. Every other form of what you consider Web3 will probably be encompassed by AI. Take tokenization, take RWAs, NFTs, DeFi trading. Why would you do any of that through a clunky interface when you can just talk to an AI agent that is smarter, faster, and better at it than you can ever be? I think that's where we're going as an ecosystem. And it's not a case of, okay, 2, 3, 4, 5 years. It's very clearly, if you're paying attention, a case of this is changing within the next 6 to 8 months type of situation. And we all need to be just paying attention to that. So that's why I'm so excited on the AI side to see the kind of developments that we're seeing. And with that, I do want to tease you guys out with one little thing here from our side. Earlier this morning, we actually soft launched the mainnet of Open Convey and Moonscape inside of mainnet. So as of now, you can officially register your agents in mainnet to the Hashgraph Online registry and create transactions. In this demo, you have the Moonscape agent, which is just running the transact code inside the standards SDK. And I'm, as a human, talking to this agent, I'm asking it if it can send 1 HBAR to account 800. And this is utilizing these human-in-the-loop flows that we've built into the new Hedera agent kit, where it's able to automatically infer what I've asked, and I can send a really stupid prompt here too, and it'll be able to figure it out, because humans make terrible mistakes when it comes to prompts, and that's part of a good agent, is able to make inferences and push those inferences up, and that's possible through the new Hedera agent kit. So you can start playing around with all of this today. We encourage you to play around with it. Over the coming weeks, we will be featuring builders who are creating agents that are integrated with Open Convey inside of Moonscape on our socials, as well as the homepage of Moonscape. So if you do go into our homepage, there will be a section for featured agents that you will be able to access, and we'll also have featured agents promoted in different angles as well. So I encourage everyone to start looking at that, see how you can get involved, reach out to us through our Telegram community. That's t.me/Hashinals, or visit our website for the documentation, as well as the Hedera documentation around the agent kit and the upcoming AI studio. With that, I do want to just say thank you to everyone who participated. Thank you to all of the organizations that made HederaX AI possible. This is just the beginning. We've got Hashgraph, THA, THF, as well as the 10 organizations behind the Hashgraph Online DAO. None of this would have been possible without this cross participation between all of these organizations. And a huge thank you to all of the participants as well, who hacked away within that 3-week period, showed up to the Twitter Spaces, and kept on building and implementing. You guys are all awesome. Let's all please stay in touch. And this is just the beginning of HederaX AI.
Awesome. Thank you, Michael. Yeah, so definitely want to, again, repreface, go to hellofuturehackathon.dev, and you can check out the 3 really big hackathons that are still to come this year, coming, just as one example, coming out of the Hedera ecosystem, those 3. There's an Origins hackathon, which looks like kicking off July 7th, but you can do signups right now. There's an AI track, a DeFi and tokenization track, a sustainability track, and there's a legacy builders track as well, and also a bonus track for dev experience. You also have the Hedera Africa hackathon, Hedera TAC hackathon.hashgraph.swiss. That's a lot to read. And yeah, I think it's going to be really interesting to watch how all this stuff shakes out. I mean, I'm always interested, like kind of what Michael said, and I actually agree with that ethos where, AI is going to be tied into the fabric of everything that we do. I guess the real question that I have is, what interactions do we still have, and where are those interactions? Is it kind of like a before you hit the red button, there's like a manual intervention at the last second that's like, are you sure you want to do this? But a lot of this stuff's going to be streamlined, and I appreciate maybe you guys will have somebody like automated hosting a podcast instead of me in like a year or 2. But anyways, I appreciate Jake, you coming on, Patricia, Michael, Tudor, Ed, Patches, everybody that came up today. Really appreciate it, and thank you guys so much. I'm going to ramp this down. Hang out with me so I make sure I get these recordings, guys.
Thanks a lot for having us, man. Appreciate it, everyone.
All right, we're good on there. Let me end here.